Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sarah Gregory.
I'm Sarah Hughes. Good afternoon.
Very much welcome. We want you to suspend your ideas about what your career might be just for a few minutes, and we encourage you to really think beyond the obvious. There are amazing jobs across the whole of the creative industries, from film to television, performing arts, advertising and marketing, you name it, but many of the jobs will not be the ones that you've thought about. The UK creative industries are growing 3 times faster than any other industry. That's all the other industries represented here today. And in the UK, 1 in every 12 jobs is within the creative economy. And here is why.
Candy, its taste is on my mind. Girl, you got me thirsty for another cup of wine. Got a bug from you, girl, but I don't need no cure. I just stay up victim if I can for sure.
Talking good like me. So his vocabularistics is limited to I and am and group. Exclusively in that.
Hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. All the good love when we're all alone. Keep it up, girl. Yeah, you turn me on. I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. I'm hooked on a feeling.
Okay, so you can see, to make such exciting films, television, everything that we make in the UK creative industries, it takes more than just creatives. So there are jobs for everybody, from scientists to entrepreneurs, makers to communicators, technologists and organisers, engineers, and of course, creatives as well. We really value a fusion of technical and entrepreneurial skills. But in school, we would encourage you to study a combination of STEAM rather than STEM. And that's your science and technology subjects, but with an art subject alongside. Many of the jobs in our sector are freelance, and in some jobs, that's up to 91%. Because we are growing so rapidly, these are secure jobs with lots and lots of opportunities. And what that gives you is more freedom to choose how and who you'll work for. Many of the most rewarding jobs are not the ones you would immediately think of. So in television, currently in the UK, 77% of television companies report jobs they cannot fill. And they include things like production accountants, script supervisors, location managers, camera operators and grips, not necessarily the actors and actresses. We have more than 400 UK-based film companies, all of which are trying to grow at the moment and need production support, set, costume, management and marketing skills. The VFX industry is our fastest growing part of the creative industries, and it has jobs that are highly technical and highly scientific.
Okay, so we've got an introduction there to film and media industries, but I want to talk to you a little bit about the creative arts and the cultural industries. So looking at performing arts, visual arts, craft, design, culture, cultural heritage. So I just want you to shout out a few jobs that you can think of in a theatre. When you walk into a theatre, what do you think of? Front of house. What else? Lighting. Thank you. Flying guys, what? DSM, yeah. What else? Anything from this side? It's like Panto. Let's have one side versus the other.
Come on over there. Come on, give us a job.
Give us a job in theatre. Which?
Didn't hear it. Oh, sound engineer.
Sound and lighting engineers. That's brilliant. Those are the best answers I've had to that question all day. When you walk into a theatre, you see the box office and you see the performance, but you need to understand that there are a lot more jobs that go into these sectors than the ones that you immediately see. So, for example, at the end of a film, you'll watch masses of credits go up at the end of the film, and very few of those people will you have actually seen. There are, just going by the title of our presentation, a lot of jobs beyond the obvious that we see within the creative sector. So thinking about performing artists, we've just named a few within the performing industries. So there's sound technicians, lighting design. There's a winch man over on our stand, which is just behind here, that you can come and meet from the Curve Theatre. Songwriters, circus performers. There's also got to be the people helping them, doing their costume design, makeup design, wig design as well. There are ways of working within the creative and cultural industries without actually being the person who is the performer or the artist or the singer, the central creative.
Cool. And in other high-tech industries, many of the young people here today have asked us about the games industry. Games industry in the UK is massive and growing at about 7% a year. More girls play games than boys. You may remember boys being quietly in their bedroom over a console. Well, the world of gaming has changed, and because of games like Candy Crush, there are more of us girls now playing games than boys. But just 14% of games employees are female. So if we don't get more girls coming to join us, the games that we produce are not going to suit the market that they're intended for.
Visual artists, there's a lot of careers within visual arts that we don't necessarily think of when we first go into a gallery. When you go in, you'll see all the art on the walls, but what about the people who framed them and the people who've put them up there as well? We've got cartoonists, illustrators, makeup artists as well, all working within the visual art sector.
Animation jobs, as we touched on, it'll start with that visual art discipline and turn into a technical job. So it's a role from the person that draws the idea at the beginning to the person that produces the finished piece at the end. But it all has to be bundled up with people who can write stories. Whatever we do in the creative industry, really good storytelling, from making a fashion to making a film, is the root of everything that we do. So consider your English skills and think about your storytelling.
In fact, writing comes throughout the whole process. You've got to have
Everywhere.
somebody coming up with the concept and writing at the beginning, all the way through to the marketing and the ticketing selling right at the other end of the scale. So those skills are very important, communication skills as well.
And as Sarah's spoken about earlier, there are lots of design jobs that you won't necessarily have considered. Also in careers like photography, most young people consider high gloss, or at the bottom end, perhaps wedding and family photography. But in photography, there are some amazing careers in medical, scientific, and forensic photography that create very secure careers. Advertising and marketing is growing massively in the UK. For every £1 we spend on advertising, it produces £6 for the UK economy. So people want to spend money on advertising, and we are predicting 70,000 new jobs in the next 3 years. So it's a really great place for young people to set out a career. Lots of interesting careers for mathematicians. Pretty much all of advertising is based on analytics. It's maths, it's complex maths. It's not just the guys writing the adverts at the very end of the scale.
Literature and publishing, we've already mentioned how important communication skills and writing skills can be within the creative industries. But have you considered other things that you can do with your writing skills as well? So if you think about going into theatre, again, as a nice example, there's the people who are writing the marketing to get you in and buy a ticket. There's the people who've written the piece of theatre that you're about to see. And then there's these very scary people here. There's the critics as well who come and review the show at the end. They're not really scary. But there's also got to be all the editors and the journalists. You'll come across their work every single day, so look around you and look at the creative jobs that are going into everything that you will be passing every day.
Every piece of the marketing materials you'll have picked up from every stand, somebody's written, someone's designed, and someone's printed. And all of those fit within the UK creative footprint. So there are jobs across all of the economy, not just in the creative industries. UK radio, more than 200 radio stations, a great route in for young people that are interested in journalistic or presenting jobs. You can get in through school radio, hospital radio, or local radio and create yourself a really exciting career route. Fashion and textiles is the largest employer in the UK creative industries, and despite many of you believing that our manufacturing has moved abroad, when it comes to making the high-quality bespoke materials, the UK is the world leader. So jobs are growing and they are secure, and they can engage a range of young people that are both creative, technical, or just those that like to do something that's a little bit more hands-on.
Jewellery making is an interesting area because it's something that tends to be done as a bit of a lifestyle occupation, where people are working on their own, they're freelance, creating something that they're interested in with the skills that they've got. So you tend to get very, very individual jewellery makers. And they will make everything from the lockets, the watches, the chains. We have stone cutters and engravers as well within our sector, but they do tend to be very, very either small businesses or freelancers. So it's very important for people interested in this area to understand the importance of self-employment and freelance skills to work in an area such as this one. And the same goes for craft as well. A lot of craftspeople will perhaps be working and creating their craft alongside another job. And craft is such an enormous range. We can have people who are making clogs, people who are restoring watches, restoring instruments, as well as making ceramics that you drink your cup of tea out of, and creating toys that you play with when you're younger.
And we again use these everywhere. So when we're making a film or a television program, we regularly turn to craftspeople to produce the props and the other things that we use during a production. One thing to say about the creative industries is we are a highly qualified workforce. Up to 78% of employees hold a degree. If you choose a degree that industry has endorsed through the Creative Skillset tick, you are 3 times more likely to secure a job in the industry that you've chosen. So a really good starting point when you're looking for a degree that will give you industry access. We really respect traditional qualifications, your GCSEs, your A-levels, and your non-specific degree courses. But we encourage you to take up that combination of STEAM subjects that we spoke about earlier. Equally, vocational qualifications, whether that's City and Guilds or BTECs, are respected very much by our industries because they develop the practical skills that quite often our employers and educators really need young people to have.
So degrees aren't the only way of getting into the sector. There are also a lot of apprenticeships within the creative and cultural industries and the creative industries which have been developing over the last 8 years or so. So for example, within theatres, there are technical theatre apprenticeships, there are front of house apprenticeships as well, costume and wardrobe, and there's creative media apprenticeships as well, just to help young people to gain that experience of learning in the workplace and getting that first step on a ladder.
So what kind of skills do you need to work in the creative industries? They're fairly obvious, but we all work on little pieces that get knitted together to make a whole, whether that's a dress or a theatre production, a film or a television programme. So teamwork, great communication skills, the ability to solve problems, to work flexibly are really important to us. But also time management, the ability to be a little bit entrepreneurial and think about new ways of working, and that determination and resilience. We do not claim these are easy careers to secure, but they are very much open and attainable, but you might need to show a little bit of interest in advance.
We're talking more about T-shaped skills within the sector as well, because there are lots of very small employers within the creative and cultural industries. A lot of employees will have to do a number of different roles within that job. So with the T-shaped skills, they've got very, very in-depth, subject-specific skills, but also some of those areas that Sarah's just covered, including good communication skills, knowledge of finance and invoicing perhaps, marketing as well, so they can contribute to the business as a whole, as well as doing their specialist subject.
And finally, employers really want to see what young people can do. Qualifications are rarely enough on their own. We need that interest and aptitude. And young people of the age that I see around me now can absolutely start developing those skills now. If you visit us next door in the studio, we'll be able to give you some software lists that you can download for free and use industry standard software. There are literally hundreds of clubs and societies across the UK that can help young people to developing their skills right now. One of which particularly is the Arts Award.
Yes, which you should have. Has everybody got a pack? If not, come and see us at the end and we'll give you one. But you hold up one of the black bags for us. Within those packs, we've put an Arts Award document. This is a unique set of qualifications for young people up to the age of 25 to develop their creativity, communication and leadership skills through a portfolio-based qualification. So they will learn how to develop their skills within a particular art form. They will review events. They will share their skills with other people, and they will also have a go at running leadership projects. So if you do have this within your pack, have a look at it. If you don't have it, come and find me and I will talk to you about it with pleasure.
And most importantly, we understand in education now that arts-based subjects may be in retraction, they may be less available to students. Opportunities like the Arts Award you can do in your own time and you can do independently of school, so you don't need to rely on the offer that you currently have to pursue a career that you're particularly interested in. Extracurricular activities, as we said, there are tons of things to choose from drama clubs to the Arts Awards to music programs. Again, if you come and visit us next door, we'll be able to provide you with a little bit of a steer about where you can send your young people. There is also the free software that I've just mentioned, so come and visit us in the studio and get your software lists. So, but finally, just as we wrap up, there are two really great websites that you can visit. We at Creative and Cultural Skills have hundreds and hundreds of job roles that you can explore that you will never have heard of. Even I've got jobs on there that I've never heard of. So come and have a little explore about our website and see what you can find. But also,
The Creative Choices website has got masses of careers information about jobs within performing arts, visual arts, craft design, cultural heritage, literature, music. It's also got an Ask the Expert section within there. If you've got a very specific question that you want to ask someone who's already working in the sector, you can find that. And we've got piles of job profiles that tell you about the skills required to work in a particular job, as well as routes to get into them. So this is they're both excellent resources for you to have a look at.
and just before we wrap up and give you a chance to ask us a couple of questions, to the parents in the room, I'd really like to say these are secure, really excellent places for your young people to come and work. We're in growth, we produce things that the whole world loves, and we're absolutely world-renowned for the creative industries in the UK. So encourage them and support them on their career journey into our sector, because we know that they'll be really happy in their future careers. So thank you all very much. Questions?
We're on the other side of this wall. Come and find us.
Hiya, we have time for about 2 or 3 questions, so if you've got any burning questions, put your hand up and I'll bring the mic over to you.
Or you can come and find us. Literally on the other side of this wall.
Anyone? Anyone?
Oh, there's one at the back.
That's for, oh, what about?
I just wanted to ask, what would be the ideal age for young people to start looking for career paths and on the website for Creative Skillset?
I'd encourage you definitely to start exploring before Year 9 options if you're able to. Once you've taken options, sometimes you're closing down opportunities. Not necessarily, but sometimes you're going to close down opportunities. There's never a too young age to start being inspired what you can do in your future, but I'd certainly encourage anybody 14 plus to start seriously thinking about the kind of routes that they might want to take. Keep your sciences, keep your arts, keep your language skills going, and you'll leave your opportunities as broad as possible. Thank you.
Amazing.